Hi guys, welcome to my YouTube channel. Today we're making this beautiful two-piece that you see on the thumbnail, which is the trouser and the top. And this video is also a beginner friendly video. So for beginners that are just starting, you can actually make this with ease. So please, if you find this video helpful, give me a thumbs up, subscribe to my channel, put on your notification bell so that when I upload beautiful videos like this, you get notified. And don't forget to share with your friends. Please join the family so that you don't get mixed up with any of our videos, so that you get back-to-back notifications. So I'll be dropping interesting videos on this channel, so please subscribe so that you get connected. So let's go into the video. So I have already cut out my fabric. This is on fold. I also pinned it down. This is on fold. We'll be cutting the trouser part first before the top. So this is on fold. Since it's the trouser on top, I'm actually making this very fast so that to be able to cover up the whole process, both the cutting and the sewing. So I have my fabric on fold already. So the length I'm working with for the trouser is 41 inches. So I will take my length. I will take a starting line here first. Just take your starting line this way. So the next line I'll be taking is my crotch length. So for your crotch length, you can sit down on a flat surface and take from your waistline to the surface of the surface of whatever you are sitting on. That is how you get your crotch length. Or you can actually divide your hip measurement by 4, and you can use that. It's also okay. But if you divide your hip measurement by 4, add 1.5 inches, that is fine. But I normally sit down on a flat surface like this table. Then you take from your waist to the surface, just like this. You take from your waist when you are sitting to the table. So that is what I did. And I have 11 inches. So I'm using 1.5 inches for my band. So I'll put the 1.5 inches outside that starting line. I'll take my 11 inches this way, like so. So this trouser is actually a free trouser. So I don't need hip measurement, I don't need waist measurement. So I'm just taking my crotch depth, like so. Then the next thing, I would take the length of the trouser, which is 41 inches. I'll be adding 2 to it, that is 43. So what I have here is 43. So from this crash depth, which is here, I will come it down. I will divide what I have here into 2, which is from here to the length of the trouser into 2. That will give me 15. So from the 15, you go up by 2 inches. That will be your knee line. So this is my knee line. So you come back up here. This is my knee line. So now I'll be taking my hip measurement across this starting line and this crotch line. So my hip measurement is 10.5. So this is my 10.5, and I'll be adding 1/2 inch for ease. So that is 11. So this is my 11 inches, like so. So the same 11 inches I'll put here, 11. So if you mark your hip measurement plus 1/2 inch for ease. So which is your hip measurement plus 1, that is what I've marked here. So this is it. The same thing here, the same thing here. So for your crotch extension, you divide. So for your crotch extension, you divide your hip by 4. Whatever you got from your hip division by 4, you divide again by 4. That is how you get your crotch extension. So when I do that, I get 2.5 for my crotch extension. So I'll mark the 2.5 this way, like so. Then at this point, this square you are seeing here, I'll come out by 1 inch, like so. Mark it, then you connect this line, this to your 2.5. So that is the curve of my crush. So that's all. So we'll come down to this part. Whatever we get here now, you take the total of what you have from here to here, divide by 2. So this is 14. So divide by 2, that will be 7. So I'll be putting it this way. I'll mark it across to the M line, like so. So the whatever you have here divide by 2, that is what I got this line that is running straight to the lower part. So the next thing is to mark on a knee line and the M line. So for the knee line, whatever I use here, that's what I want to use on the M line. So and I'm using 11 inches. So for the 11 inches, you divide that 11 inches. I'm actually using 22 inches, so don't get confused. So 22 inches divided by 2, that is 11. And this, since this line is here, that means you have to divide whatever you get again by 2. So that will be 5.5. So I have here 5.5 here, then 5.5 here, which is 11 here. So whatever I marked here, I'll mark on the lower part also. 5.5 here, 11 here. So I'll connect this to that. So this, I'll also connect this to this. So that is it. So you take from this crash extension to that line, like so. I don't have my curve ruler here right now, so I'm just using the free hand. See what is given, like so. Then you take from this crash line also to this line, like so. So I'll be taking it this way, like so. That is it. So we're actually done with this trouser. So the only thing that you will do now is to check on this part. You come down by 3 inches this way, 3 inches, which is from the crash line, 3 inches. That is where your lap measurement will be. So you have to check if this, whatever you've marked here now, will be enough to accommodate your lap. So my lap measurement is actually 12 inches. So let's check. And this is 13, which is okay. Not fitted, not tight. So, sorry, not fitted and not too loose. So we'll cut this off like so. The upper part, we're not doing anything to it, just as it is, like so. So cut this off. So I've actually placed it for a back piece. I actually want this video to be a little bit short. So this is the back piece. I've placed it. So when you want to place yours, you make sure you have at least 1.5 inches on the upper part here. Then on the front part, which is the crotch line, this cuff part, you make sure you have 2.5 inches, which is your crash extension. Then this part of it that is folded, make sure you have 2 inches. That is how you place yours. So I've placed mine now, so I will explain what we are doing with all those inches. So for the front part, I'll be using the same 2.5 inches I use at the front. So some persons increase, some persons use the same. So I normally like using the same. So this is 2.5 inches. So if you watch closely, this cross line is going straight, but for the back part, I'll be coming down. So you come outside straight, then you come down by half inch, like so. Straight the half inch. So I won't be taking the curve straight on the back part. So now you leave that like so. Then for this part, I'm using 1.5 inches here, which is this extension here. So from this crash curve, I'll be minusing 2 inches from here. So let's say 2 inches. So that 2 inches I removed now, I'll put it on this part. So that is the 2 inches I was explaining earlier. So I'll put it here. So now I'll mark that 2 inches on the back piece, like so. So this is my 2 inches mark here. Are you seeing this? So this is my 2 inches, like so. So you'll be connecting this to that. To connect these 2 inches that we deducted now to this. So connect it like so. Make your curve to this line. See what I did here? So this is your back crush curve. So you won't be cutting like this. You take this one instead. So for this part, so this is your knee line. You connect it to your knee line with a slant curve like so, and blend it in here. Blend it like so. Yeah, so this, what we've done so far, is just to give room to your bumbo to sit well on the pant. So this is it. Then this part that we added the 2 inches to, so you take that 2 inches like so. So you take the 2 inches, you end it on the crash line here. Then from this crash line, you start taking 1 inches across to the length. So we don't mark 1 inches to the M line. So that is actually my sewing allowance. So you connect this now to this 1 inch, like so. So this is it. So I'll cut this off. Then on this part, I'll be connecting this. Extension that we came out by 1.5 to the side allowance, like this. So you connect this to this. So that is that. So this is what we'll be cutting on this. So I'll cut that now and place our fabric to mark the top. So after cutting this, we just cut our band, and that's also place our fabric to mark for the top. The trouser is ready. So I have my fabric on fold for the upper part. So I actually have 4 pieces here. I'm cutting both together because there's no zipper. So whatever is at the back is the same at the front. So no zipper allowance. So this is it. And it's cut together with sleeve. So what I have here on fold is 16 inches. This is 16 inches. So for the length, I'm using 17 inches, that including sewing allowance. So that is the 17 inches here. So the next thing, I'll mark my sleeve opening. For this part, I'll be coming down by 1 inch for the slanting of the shoulder. Then the neck opening, I'll use 3.5 inches, like so. So this is my 3.5 inches, like so. So I'll slant this to this. this is it. The shoulder slanting like so. So for the neck depth for the back, I'm using 1 inch. So this is my 1 inch. So I'll connect to my 1 inch like so. So I will be cutting this off. Then for the opening of the sleeve, I'm using 9 inches. So this is my 9 inches here. 9 inches. That's the opening of the sleeve. So for the shaping of the body, I'm using my bust measurements here. So my bust measurement is 9.5 to 38, 9.5 here. So this top is not actually a fitted top, so I'll be adding 2 inches to this. 2 inches, that's including your ease allowance and your sewing allowance. So whatever I mark here, that is what I will just take straight down like so. So this is it. So see this. So you just make a slant curve like so. It's not supposed to be straight, so you just take the slant curve. So cut this off. Very easy. I'll cut this off. So this is it. Cut it out. So the next thing, you make a notch on the lower part, which is here. So notch the midpoint like so. Then for the front one, this is the front part. I'll remove the back part. So for the front, for us to get that collar effect you are seeing, I'll take the depth of the neck for the front. I'll take it this way, and I'm taking 8 inches. So let's do 9. So this is 9 inches, like so. And I'll take 1 inch on this part, like so. You can as well use half inch. So no, let's use half inch for this. Half inch. So we'll be connecting this to this. This. So cut this off. So that's it. That is it for this. So we are done with the upper part. So back to the lower part. So the length I'm actually using is 13 inches. 13 inches for the top. So I've already, we cut out 17. That 17 is this is the trouser. The 17 is including sewing allowance. So what we actually cut for that upper part right now, which is the half cut, is the half length is 16. So 30 minus 16, that will give you 14 inches. So what I have here is 15. So this is 15. And unfortunately my fabric was not enough, so I just make do with 1 inch 1 inch for all the allowances. So, and the volume at which I use at the side is 48 inches. So you just take a straight fabric, 48 inches like so. So this is 48 inches including sewing allowance. So there's no big deal to this. Just take a straight fabric, your length plus how big you want the side to be. You can make it more, it will drip all the way to the floor. So for this video, I actually use 48 inches. So for the width and 15 to complete my length of 30. So that's all for this. So we'll come back to cutting of the collar part. You just your normal band. So we want to try and see if we can get her band from these pieces now. So the band for the neck. So I actually cut out ½ inch from the neck, which is here. So the band I want to use is 2 inches. So this is my 2 inches. Let me check if I will be able to have 2 inches here. So, and it's enough. So I will just cut out the band as much as possible and get to our sewing table, sewing machine. So I will just cut out your normal band by 2 inches. That is what I use on the neck. Normal band. So I'll be cutting the same to go round the front part before the collar. So don't forget, you also need a band for your trousers. So I will also gather the pieces to be able to secure my bands or the trouser before we start sewing. So this is what we start sewing. This is the blouse and this is the half cut. So we start with the front part of it. So this is it. So these are the band for the neck. I actually measured what I have. You know what we're cutting? I used 9 inches here. So what I have here was a little bit longer from the neck with 1½ inches. So I'll be sewing this. This is a band of 1½ on fold. Sorry, 2 inches on fold. So I'll be sewing it from this part this way. Sew it with ½ inch. And I'll also do the same to this part. I'll sew with ½ inch like so. So I will sew here and here. So this is it. I've sewed it. So after sewing, I made a notch on the lower part. This is it. So I made a notch to this side and a notch to this side to be able to flip it inward very well. So this is it here. So we just range it very well like so, and do the same to the other side like so. So you just make sure you range it well like so. So this is it. That is how it is. So the next thing, we just sew here down and we're done with this part. So the next part to join now, I'll bring this. This is the back part. This is the back part. So we join this to the neck part. Watch where I want to join this to. You know, now we are having extension from this neck at the front, and this back there is no extension. You know there will be a collar around the neck. So now watch what I want to join. On the neckline, you take this, match it from the sleeve extension this way, which is the shoulder, match it to, you get to the actual neck, like here. So this is here. So that is where you will sew down. So we'll be sewing with ½ inch, like so. Then we'll do the same to this side. I'll show us how it looks like before we put our collar on it. So this is it. I've joined it around the shoulder. So I joined it on the actual neck and not on the band. So now this band will serve as a placket for our collar. So instead of sewing to the actual front neck, we'll be sewing it to the placket, which is the band. So we sew this way for the collar. So now we measure from the band to the back neck to get the length of our collar. So this is it. take it from the band into the back neck, now like this. And this is 14.2. So that is what we use to cut the collar. I have a little piece here for the collar, so I'll fold this way. The length we're working with is 14.2, so this is from here to here 14.5. So I'll be using 4 inches for the width of the collar. So I'll mark 4 inches all through, 4 inches all through, then I'll cut it at 4 inches here. So I'll cut this part at. So it's more of like a band also. So this is 4 inches by the length at which I'm working with. So I'll fold this into 4 again. So this is into 4 again. So this is into 4 again. So what we want to do now, we use this as our midpoint. So this is the part that will be sewed to the neck part. So I'm making a notch there. So this is the part that will sew to the back, which is the midpoint. So this is the edge. So what I will do, I will take quarter of an inch from here, like so, quarter of an inch, like so. Then I will just straighten it like this. So like this, more of just to give it a slant curve on this part, like this. You see what I'm trying to explain? Just make a slant curve this way. If your fabric were to be more, you can just make it more. But this is what I want. So if you divide your 14 by 0.2 by 2, this is what you will get. So this is on 4, this is it. So this is our collar is ready. So go and sew the collar now. So you'll be sewing half inch this way all around to this side. You leave this part that will be sewed to the neck, leave it like that. But this part that will be sewed to the neck, I want to make a curve on it. So make a slant curve on that part, like so. So on this lower part now, just slant it a little by half of an inch, just to make that slant curve on it, like so. Before we notch again, so this is our new midpoint. So one, I will sew that now and bring it. See the cuff part I was talking about. See that cuff part. So that's all. So sew this way, and leave this part. I will sew to the neck. collar is ready. I've sewed the side, and this is where it will be attached to the neck. So I'll put this. I've actually notched the back part of the neck, so I'll sew this to the neckline, like so, all through to the front. So I'll do that. Then for the lower part, open it up like this. So this part at which I notch here, so also make a notch on it at this midpoint. So you join it to it on that part like so. So you just sew it down with ½ inch. So it should be like this. So I'll do the same to that side. So after attaching the collar, you just shape the side with 1 inch. After sewing this lower part, so you close the side 1 inch. Then when you get to this part, let me just attach it and explain further how to close the side. So I've joined the flex to it. Let's call it fledge. I don't know the name to call it, but I've joined it. I've joined it to the lower part here. I've also put the collar in it. So this is the collar. So the next thing is to close it. So just pin along the side. So you pin the end. So first I will do now is to sew here with 1 inch. When you get to this part, which is the half length, you end your 1 inch there. So this part will be opened like so. So the only thing we'll do to this side is to hem it down. So we'll take one piece first, double fold it twice, hem it all round. Whatever you do to this, you do to the other part. So this is the trouser. So you just sew ½ inch all through the curve. Whatever you do to this, you do to this also. You sew ½ inch to the curve, ½ inch this way. Then you open it up. After sewing your cross line with ½ inch, you open both of them up like this. Open both of them up and you close the side seam. Close the side seam from one end to the hemline like so. It's 1 inch on both sides. So I'll come back to explain how to close the inseam, which is the cross line, the inside. So, but there is something I will do here. This part of the crush, when I want to sew with my ½ inch, this part, I will sew it ½ inch till I get to this part here. I'll be leaving 1 inch here on sew. So I'll be leaving an opening of 1 inch here. I will explain what to do with it later. So let me go and do all that. So I've joined the brush and I've also closed the side. I actually joined some of my pieces to create the pocket, so I did not do that on camera because this video is taking too long. So I've closed the side of the trouser all through. So that 1 inch we left on the crush. So this is what we'll do with it. So You match them here this way. So you sew your half-inch cut through to the leg, inch, half-inch like so, to this part that you left open. Wash, you see it this way. So half-inch this way, half-inch this way. So I'll go and do that and show us what next to do on this part. Then we'll put our band, put our elastic, and that's all. So I will do that to the cross line. Then I will attach my band to it and put my elastic to the band. So I'll show us what needs to do. So I've put my band and the elastic on the waist. So I've also run the line at the, which is the inseam, the cross line. I've run it both sides. So the only thing remaining, if you open this part, you'll be seeing a hole, an opening there. So you hold it this way now, which is from the back crush to the front crush. You hold it this way, then you close it. And that is the last part of this video. So you hold from the front to the back and close up that remaining hole. So I will give this a nice press. I will also iron the blouse, which is the top, and put it on, so you see the final result of our trouser and top. So if you watch this far and you find this video helpful, please give me a thumbs up, subscribe to my channel, put on your notification bell, comment on the comment section just any question that you have on this video and you want clarification for in any part of the, maybe the cutting or the sewing. Just put it on the comment section. I will do it fit to answer it as soon as possible. So if you want clarification on this or any other video, you can just drop it on the comment section. So let me close up that part, iron it, and put it on for us to see. So this is the outcome of the dress. So this is the collar, and this is the draping effect. You can call it flag, whatever you want to call it. Sorry, I'm holding the back. So this is it. You can make your 60. I actually use 48 because I don't have a lot of fabric. The fabric that was available for this project was just 3 years. So you can use 60, and that will bring yours down to your legs. So this is 48, including sewing allowance. So this is it. This is your half cut. So this is the opening here. This is it. So you only close from the hand to that part. So this is your trouser. So if you find this video interesting, please give me a thumbs up, subscribe to my channel, put on your notification bell so that you will get notified anytime I upload any new videos. And please join the family, subscribe. So this is it. So this is your trouser. This is the trouser. See how nice it is. So a beginner can actually do this. This is the back part.